Everything they taught you about prosperity might need to be unlearned. If you're over 55, you've seen a lot. You've tried everything: positive thinking, books, videos, prayers. But tell me honestly, why does abundance still feel like it slips through your fingers? The truth is, some women have discovered an ancient secret. It's not witchcraft. It's not religion. It's not another magic formula. It's a simple ritual, ancestral quiet, that aligns your energy with what we call the field of abundance. Many women like you are rediscovering this knowledge now. Maybe you've already felt it. That moment when everything seems to flow. It's not coincidence. It's alignment. And today, this secret will be revealed with respect, with truth, and with soul. If something inside you whispered yes, write in the comments, "I'm ready to receive." Because this isn't about believing, it's about remembering who you've always been. Today you'll learn a simple, yet deeply transformative practice. It's not a modern technique nor a new formula. It's something ancient that speaks directly to the quietest part of the soul. For a long time, this wisdom was passed down only orally, like a secret kept by women who knew how to listen to their intuition and respect the timing of life. And what they learned changed destinies. This ritual has already changed the lives of thousands of women who were tired, overwhelmed, feeling like prosperity was always meant for others. If this message found you now, there's a reason. And if you feel ready to let things change, click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and write in the comments, "I'm ready to receive." That simple gesture is already the beginning of change. I came across this practice a few years ago in one of those unplanned encounters, the kind that seem to happen when we're ready. I was welcomed by a woman who looked like she had stepped out of another time. They called her Dona Alzer. Her skin was marked by the years, her eyes as serene as the sky at dusk, and her voice so calm that just one sentence could silence everything inside. She didn't say much, but when she did, it was impossible not to listen. It's not force that moves things, my dear. It's intention. Those words came as she dropped a handful of coarse salt into a glass of water. It was the beginning of something I didn't yet understand. In that simple house, surrounded by silence and the scent of drying herbs, she told me that abundance is not a reward. It's a state of alignment. That those who walk through life carrying fear, resentment, and doubt end up closing doors they can't even see. But there are ways to clear that path. As she spoke, the wind gently swayed the curtains. Her words came with the softness of that breeze. Nothing was urgent, nothing was forced. But There was a certainty in her presence that struck deep. It was in that moment that I understood. Prosperity isn't something you fight for. You invite it, and that invitation begins with a simple gesture, but one filled with intention. That gesture is what you're about to learn. Dona Alzira led me to a small room in the house where time seemed to move more slowly. On a worn wooden table rested three elements: a glass of clear water, a bowl of coarse salt, and a few vibrant green bay leaves still fresh with their aroma. Nothing there looked special, and yet everything felt deeply present. She called them the magic triangle of abundance. She said it while looking into my eyes, and for some reason I knew it wasn't just a pretty name, it was a code. Water, she explained, is not just water. It is memory. Water holds, carries, and repeats what it hears and feels. It reflects the energy we place into it. Salt, contrary to what many believe, is not meant to drive away evil. It's meant to purify what still lingers within. Unresolved pain, old resentments, the thoughts we silently repeat that become invisible walls around us. And bay leaves? Bay leaves are the messengers. They speak to what we don't yet see, she said. They're what clears the path once we stop resisting. As she spoke, everything around seemed to slow down. Have you ever felt like someone was telling you something you already knew, but had forgotten? That's exactly what it was. The ritual always began at dusk, a time when the world is between two states, no longer day, not yet night. This moment, according to Dona Alzira, is when the world listens best. She showed me how to prepare it. Fill a clear glass with clean water. Add 3 pinches of coarse salt, always with the left hand. Place 3 whole bay leaves carefully. After that she would go silent. No speaking, no movement, just observing the glass. And in that silence, a different kind of thought would arise, not the kind that comes from the head, but the kind that wells up from the chest. She taught me to look at the glass and mentally pour into it everything that was weighing me down. The overdue bills, the fear of not being enough, the loneliness that sometimes disguised itself as routine, the feeling that time was slipping by and life was being left behind. But she also told me, don't forget to speak your desires, because what you don't name, the universe doesn't understand. From that point, the simple gesture became a portal. Not because it changes the world outside, but because it changes the field around the one performing it. And that changes everything. Here's a key point, maybe the most important of all. The human brain doesn't distinguish between a felt visualization and a real experience. When you do this ritual with presence, your entire body begins to respond as if what you desire is already happening. Your brain waves slow down, your nervous system calms, and your energy starts sending out different signals. You stop vibrating in fear and start vibrating in possibility. And that has a name, coherence. When your thoughts, feelings, and actions are aligned, life listens. People feel it, and opportunities begin to appear from the most unexpected places. Many women who learn this ritual report exactly that. Subtle but powerful changes. An unexpected phone call. A proposal that once seemed impossible. A sense of relief arriving before the solution itself. You don't need to understand everything right now. Just feel, because feeling is already beginning if this ritual is already touching something inside you. Take a deep breath and stay with me. In the next part, you'll hear the true story of a woman who was on the verge of collapse and found in this practice a path that transformed her life. Rosa was 56 when she felt she couldn't go on. Divorced for 7 years, mother of 2 grown children who barely called, and living on a pension that didn't even cover basic expenses. She woke up with a heavy heart, went to sleep with the TV on just to avoid hearing the silence in the house. She wasn't weak, quite the opposite. She worked her whole life, cared for others, did more for everyone else than for herself. But there came a moment when even getting out of bed felt heavy. Do you know that kind of exhaustion? The kind that doesn't come from the body, but from the soul? It was during a casual conversation with a neighbor that Rosa first heard about the ritual. Do it, even if just out of curiosity, the woman said. Rosa didn't believe in much, but that night, for some reason, she decided to give it a try. She grabbed a glass, tap water, a pinch of salt, 3 bay leaves forgotten at the back of a drawer. She didn't intend to do anything deep. She just wanted some kind of peace. But when she sat in front of the glass in silence, something different happened. She cried, without warning, without effort. It was as if that simple gesture had released something that had been trapped for years. In the days that followed, Rosa repeated the ritual, not as an obligation, but as a moment just for her. And the changes began to come, not like magic, but like answers. First, a long-time acquaintance called, offering a temporary job. Then, some forgotten money showed up in an old account. And more important than all of that, she started finding joy again in the small things, in the smell of coffee, in the morning light pouring through the window, in the fact that she could exist without having to justify herself. Today, Rosa doesn't say she became a millionaire, but she says she feels rich because she started to feel worthy again, and that feeling changes everything. Have you ever asked yourself why, even when you do everything right, life still seems stuck sometimes? Why some paths close exactly when you need a way out? Maybe it's not a lack of effort. Maybe it's the weight of invisible baggage, old thoughts, words that hurt and were never forgotten, promises you made to yourself but never kept. The truth is, throughout life, we accumulate things we can't see, but that hold us back, and no one teaches us how to release them. We're taught to be strong, to endure, to take care of others, but not to let go. This ritual is an invitation to do just that, to let go. Not of what's outside, but of what's still inside. To release anger, fear, regret. To let go of the idea that it's too late. It never is. As long as you're breathing, there's time. The invisible exists, and it affects us far more than we imagine. The energy we carry, what we think when we wake up, what we feel when we're alone, all of it shapes the reality around us. If this touched your heart in any way, write in the comments. I open my hands to abundance, not as someone who begs, but as someone who is ready to receive. Now that you understand the meaning behind each element, it's time to learn, step by step, how to perform the ritual. This is the point where wisdom becomes practice, where energy aligns with intention. Before starting, choose a calm moment. It can be at dusk or when the house is quiet. This ritual doesn't go with haste. It requires presence. You will need a clear glass, clean water, 3 pinches of coarse salt, 3 whole bay leaves. Step 1. Preparing the space. Sit somewhere you can be with yourself for a few minutes. Turn off distractions. Take a deep breath. While you prepare the glass, think of the word release. Don't say it out loud. Just feel its weight. Release of old pain, silent guilt, repeated fears. Step 2. Assembling the glass. Pour the water into the glass using both hands. Feel the coolness between your fingers. Then, with your left hand, add 3 pinches of coarse salt, one at a time. With each pinch, think of something you want to let go of. It doesn't need to be specific. Just allow the emotion to come. Now, gently place 3 bay leaves into the water, as if offering a gift to your own soul. Visualize these leaves opening a path ahead of you. Step 3. Intentional silence. place the glass in front of you. Look at it in silence for 1 minute. During this time, repeat silently in your mind, I release what no longer belongs to me. I make space for what I wish to receive. I accept abundance as a natural part of my existence. These words, when spoken with truth, are not just phrases. They are commands to your energetic field. Step 4. Completion. Leave the glass in the same spot for 24 hours. The next day, discard the watered-down running water. It can be the sink, but do it with respect. And as you do it, say only, "It is done." This gesture seals the intention, and often that's when the first signs begin to appear. It's easy to perform a ritual. What's hard is remembering that life itself is a ritual. Many women, after doing this symbolic act, feel a wave of well-being, but soon fall back into routine, and everything fades. That's why Dona Alzer always said, the glass is just the beginning. The change happens afterward. How do you treat yourself after the ritual? How do you speak to yourself? With what eyes do you look at what you have? Integrating the ritual into your everyday life is what turns that moment into a new way of living. It can happen through small gestures, lighting a candle when you wake up and saying, "Today I receive what is mine with ease." Preparing breakfast with presents as if it were a gift. Whispering thank you every time you receive something, even something small. The energy of abundance doesn't respond to urgency. It responds to coherence. When you repeat these small gestures with sincerity, you begin to sustain a new frequency. And when that happens, what once felt far away starts to arrive. Naturally, you made it this far, not by chance, not out of casual curiosity. There's something in you that already knows, and might just be starting to remember. What you've seen and felt in this video isn't just a ritual, it's a key. And most importantly, the key is already in your hands. The question is, are you ready to use it? What we explored today isn't about changing the outside world. It's about changing what vibrates inside. Because that's what changes everything. The way you see yourself, the way you talk to yourself, the way you treat yourself when no one is watching. Maybe you've spent your whole life caring for others, forgetting about yourself. Maybe you learned to expect little, to settle for leftovers, to accept less than you deserve, just to keep the peace, just to not cause trouble. But here's a truth no one ever told you. Abundance begins when you stop abandoning yourself and start remembering who you've always been. You don't need to prove yourself to receive. You don't need to be perfect, strong, or happy all the time. You just need to allow yourself, and that only you can do. This ritual isn't about magic. It's about worthiness. It's a symbolic act, and the human brain responds deeply to symbols. The simple act of pouring water into a glass with intention, the gesture of naming what you want to release, the silence in front of yourself. All of this creates deep connections within your emotional system. And repeating it, when done with sincerity, is what reprograms your vibration. You begin to shift out of the frequency of lack, pressure, urgency, and step into a lighter, more open, more available state. And it's in that state that life hears you differently. That's why you shouldn't do this ritual just once. Make it your space, your silent altar, your return to presence. And more than that, don't carry this alone. Women grow when they share. So send this video to another woman you love, someone who might be tired, lost, or just in need of a small act of care. That, too, is part of the ritual offering. If you've made it this far, it's because something inside you is ready. And now, there's just one more step. Write in the comments, "I deserve everything good life has to offer me." It's not just a phrase, it's a commitment to yourself, to your story, to what is still to come. And if you feel right now that you want to keep walking with us, click the subscribe button. This community is growing, and you are part of it. Here, we don't promise miracles, but we plant presence, wisdom, and new beginnings. And sometimes that's exactly what transforms an entire life.